We don't own games anymore, and nobody seems to care. Think about that statement for a second. The games you buy today, the ones sitting in your library right now, you don't actually own any of them. You're just borrowing them until someone decides you're done. But it wasn't always like this. There was a time when buying a game felt like an event. You'd wait outside GameStop, talk to strangers who loved the same thing you did, and hold that brand new box in your hands. That's what gaming used to feel like. Like something real, something unique, something personal you could touch, something you own. And so today, we're diving into how we went from owning games to barely borrowing them, why that's a problem, and if you stick around, some ideas for how we might actually take ownership back. But first, let's lay out the current problem. We went from owning our games to slowly losing our grip on them. We went from not having to pay for online to suddenly a monthly subscription. We went from cool, vivid box art that drew you into the world before you even played, complete with the cartridge and instruction manual. Just look at this thing. Even the way it teaches you to play the game is full of imagination. Nintendo put insane effort into something as simple as an instruction manual. Now?
All right, let's see the inside cover artwork. 3, 2, 1. There it is, wow.
You're lucky if you even get the game installed on the cartridge you buy. Ever heard of virtual game key cards? Well, if you haven't, let's take it straight from the horse's mouth. Game key cards are different from regular game cards because they don't contain the full game data. Instead, the game key card is your key to downloading the full game to your console via the internet. Don't you just love how they make it sound positive? So basically, when you buy certain games physically, you're still paying for the digital version, just with a $10 upcharge because Nintendo was kind enough to throw in a plastic case with it. Now, Nintendo's not going to be the only one catching strays here. I'm looking at you too, Microsoft. I think we can all agree Xbox Game Pass was, at one point, insane bang for your buck. Not every subscription service is built the same, and for just $10 a month, you had access to a ton of games you probably never would have tried otherwise. And on top of that, plenty of new releases dropped straight on Game Pass too, which honestly felt like a no-brainer for a while. Right up until they dropped an absolute bombshell on everybody, that $30 a month price tag. At that point, you just might as well buy the games you want to play outright. At least then you own them. Another problem with Game Pass is that there's just too much on it. You boot it up, and suddenly you've got hundreds of games staring you down, all demanding your attention. So what do? You start bouncing between them. You play a little bit of this, a few hours of that, because you want to get your money's worth. But the reality is, you end up not really enjoying any of them. There's just not enough time to give each one the attention it deserves. It's like an endless buffet that somehow still leaves you feeling hungry. And maybe that's the point. Game Pass doesn't want you to feel ownership over any single game. It wants you addicted to the service itself. Because the moment you cancel, you lose everything. Where is the money? It's not about building a library anymore. It's about maintaining a subscription. I know, it gets worse. Now they're thinking about changing the pricing again for Game Pass. New tiers, higher costs, and maybe even a cheap tier with ads like Netflix. Seriously? How is that even supposed to work? What, every 30 minutes they're gonna stop you mid-game to play 3 5-minute ads? Pay $10 a month to keep playing your favorite AAA slop. Oh, but don't worry. This ad for car insurance will be over soon.
No, God!
And the shocking part about all of this, I don't think anybody really even cares. Remember Stop Killing Games? We all rallied behind that movement, signed the petitions, made noise, and yeah, it actually got enough traction to reach the right people. But it's kind of wild that it took that much outrage, with Pirate Software, Moist Critical, and half of the internet screaming about it just to get anyone to pay attention. That's how far gone things are. We have to beg companies not to delete the things we paid for.
Money, 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 money.
I don't understand why more companies can't do what Capcom did with Mega Man X Dive. Now, okay, I already know what you're thinking. Biz, what the is this game? And listen, I hear you. I never played it either. Honestly, Most people probably didn't care that it got shut down. But here's the thing. When Capcom decided to shut it down, they actually had the foresight to do something almost no other company ever does. They released an offline version, a full, self-contained version of the game that you can play start to finish, no microtransactions, no servers, nothing. Just the game. And honestly, it's probably a better experience that way. The game now sits at a very positive review rating on Steam, which I can only imagine is because people appreciated what Capcom did for its player base. I wish more companies would follow Capcom's example, because the way things are going, the future of entertainment looks bleak. We're paying more and more for less and less. And it makes you wonder, why are corporations so obsessed with these subscription-based models? Why are they so desperate to make sure we don't actually own anything anymore? And then you realize the obvious, it's because it's so damn lucrative. Who would have thought that letting gamers own less would make companies so much more? Let's look at the numbers. Xbox Game Pass generated nearly $5 billion in revenue the last fiscal year, a record high for the service. And now, they've tripled the price, so go ahead and multiply that by 3. What about Nintendo's expansion pack service? Here's how it plays out in the real world. Nintendo now has 38 million plus accounts for their Switch Online and expansion pack service. In 1 year, their digital business revenue hit roughly $2.9 billion, and they explicitly credit the growth in the expansion pack. Now, what's in the expansion pack? Games they made during their golden age. We're talking N64 games, Game Boy Advanced, GameCube, the list goes on. And really, it's the stuff worth caring about for the Switch too. And here's the kicker, they sell it at a premium subscription price for literally no cost to them. Now, at $50 a year for their highest tier, well, it's the lesser evil of the two, but still. Subscriptions are one thing, but what about the difference between owning a game physically versus digitally? When you buy a game digitally, you don't actually own it. You can't lend it to a friend when you're done. You can't sell it later if the physical copy goes up in value. You have no freedom to do anything with it. It just sits there, wasting away in your library forever. Buying digital is convenient, for sure, but that's about the only positive that I can think of. When you buy a digital game on the eShop, or on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, whatever, you're buying a license to access it, and companies like Nintendo have zero motivation to do right by consumers and make sure your purchases carry over from one store to the next. It's an ethically awful practice and should scare you enough into buying physical most of the time. The problem with that is companies are making it harder and harder for us to even do that. They keep pushing the convenience of their digital ecosystems while completely ignoring the players who actually want to own the games they paid for. You see it in the PS5 Digital Edition, which completely removes the need for physical media entirely. You see it in the $10 premium you pay for every new Nintendo release when you go digital instead of physical. You see it in the way companies keep shoving subscriptions down our throats just for the license to play their games. Which brings us to how we solve this issue. I think we already had a good initiative going with Stop Killing Games, because the only viable solution has to tread into legal territory. Essentially, we need laws that recognize digital purchases as owned property rather than licensed access. That way, it forces accountability. If you own something digitally just as you would physically, a company can't just delete it when they close a server or store. Because man, if you're gonna sell me a game for $70, oh, it better be mine, not some 10-year-old rental agreement. The next step up from that would be allowing digital resale and transfer rights. Imagine having all the benefits of going digital. Instant access, no clutter, no shipping, while still keeping your right to own what you buy, to lend it, sell it, or trade it just like a physical game. That sounds like a dream, right? Maybe a better example, though, would be GOG. See, GOG actually prioritizes ownership, like real ownership, which makes it stand out from everything else like Steam or Epic. Games you buy on GOG are completely DRM-free. No online check-ins, no launcher nonsense, no weird license agreements holding your copy hostage. You just get the game. And honestly, it's kind of crazy that GOG is one of the only platforms that gets this right. Once you download the game installer from GOG, that's it. It's yours forever. You can back it up, reinstall it on any computer you want, even if GOG servers disappear tomorrow. Now that's what owning a digital game should look like. GOG, hey, I'm making you look hella good right now. Please sponsor me next time, please, and thank you.
People only do things because they get paid.
Because man, I know how annoying DRM can be. One time I bought Crash 4 on Epic. I'd been waiting forever to play it. I loved Crash Insane Trilogy, and finally it went on sale. Even though I usually prefer physical, I thought, whatever, it's on discount, perfect time for me to jump in and finally play the game. But guess what? I bought it, installed it, and couldn't play it. The devs made it impossible to launch the game without a stable internet connection. Huh. Tell me, why on earth a single-player platformer like Crash Bandicoot needs an internet connection just to play? It's ridiculous, it's absurd, and honestly, it needs to stop.
Goddamn right.
If I'd bought it on GOG instead of through Epic, none of that would have happened. That's what real ownership looks like. To really bring all of this together, I want to show you guys something. This random clip of a guy getting Guitar Hero 3 at midnight release, it's why I even made this video, and it reminds me of what gaming used to be like. He's hugging Best Buy employees, glowing with excitement over holding that box in his hands like it's some treasure. And in the description, the uploader even says the people working there liked him so much they gave us sticker packs that nobody else got. That moment right there, that's what gaming used to feel like. Like something personal, joyful, and real. Now, midnight releases just mean waiting for a preload to finish so you can play a buggy, unfinished mess. No sense of community, no shared excitement, just nothingness. When's the last time you actually went to a store to buy a game? I can't even tell you myself. These days, it's just one click on Borrow Now on the eShop or install on Steam, and even then, it's not really yours. The colorful box art, the illustrated booklets, the small extras that made opening a game an event, they're all gone. Unless, of course, you're willing to pay extra.
This goes for $200.
This goes for $200.
This goes for $200.
Because now that same sense of care and creativity has been locked behind soulless collector's editions, the same things that used to come standard. But it doesn't have to stay this way. Platforms like GOG remind us that digital can still mean ownership, that games can still be truly ours. We can back them up, share them, and play them whenever we want. If more companies followed that example, or if laws recognize digital purchases as real ownership, maybe we could bring some of that magic back. So next time you buy a game, remember this. Owning it isn't just about the box or the disc. It's about freedom. It's about choice. It's about being part of something worth sharing.
How you doing?
Hey,
Why not wait till tomorrow? You know, it's like camping out for like concert tickets or anything else like that, you know? I mean, why not? You know, get to hang out, you know? See some people that I know, you know, that sort of thing, you know?
That's the future we should fight for. Because gaming deserves to feel alive again. To feel like ours. And if that message hits home for you, I want you to tell me your own store memories down in the comments below, because I'd love to read them. And if you want to be part of more conversations just like this one, well, hey, you know where to find me. Take care of yourselves, and maybe together, we can make gaming feel like ours again. One step at a time.
Just having an arcade inside your room, maybe even better than arcade graphics in your room.
Actually, guys, if you want to keep this conversation going, I stream a few nights a week here on the channel, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We dive into classic games, talk about stuff just like this, and just hang out and have a good time. Kind of like those old GameStop midnight launches, but from home. So, if that sounds like your vibe, stop by sometime. I might be live right now.